So you are a daughter of the famous director Ravikumar sir.
So when I started meeting people and when I started realizing that I don't have much exposure and all of that, that created a lot of issues in my life. I started becoming anxious because I was not able to face a lot of people, and on top of that I was struggling to conceive a child. So that took a very big toll on me, and it was all like together. And then I delivered my baby. It's a girl, and exactly 12 days after she was born, nobody can convince me except my dad or my husband. So everybody gave up on me. I just burst into tears because I felt like I was going to be a failure as a mom. I always feel women have much more like capacity than men, to shine. Many influencers talking about it like, if I'm taking care of my child, it's called a mother's duty, but if the father is taking care of the child, it means like he's such a great man. And that doesn't even make sense. Like, he's also the father, right? Problem with women is react to it too much. They create drama out of it, and that ends up in a place where... What about you, Dr. Pal? Do you get angry?
In front of my wife, I don't.
No, in general. What I'd recommend for anybody who experiences or rather encounters a situation where they're getting angry, I feel every single woman should be financially sound. Otherwise, other people will become your life deciders.
Before we dive in, can I be honest with you? It blows my mind that 57.9% of you who listen regularly still have not subscribed to our channel. If you enjoy the podcast, the stories, the signs, maybe even laugh at our jokes, could you do us a small favor? Hit that subscribe button. It takes only 2 seconds and helps us keep bringing you better guests and episodes every week. I'm truly blessed to have all your support, and I'm sure you will support me in the journey. Now, let's get into today's episode.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of our podcast series Gut Feel Living with Dr. Pal. In this episode, we have Miss Maalica Ravikumar. She's a daughter of the famous director Ravikumar sir. I thought she will be from a cine industry. She'll be very interested in the movies, but nothing like that. She is a budding woman entrepreneur. She has actually empowered so many women actually to come out of depression, anxiety, finding the purpose about all ages of women, especially between 25 to 55 years of age. I'm sure this podcast will definitely help you out to find the purpose in the life, and I had a fun time. I'm sure you will have it as well. Let's dive deep into it. Hi, Maalica.
Hi, Dr. Pal.
Thank you so much for being in the podcast.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure meeting you and coming here.
Nice. So, Maalica, you are a daughter of the famous director Ravikumar sir, and you have spanned out, and then you have built an identity for yourself. You are a budding entrepreneur, and you have pretty much changed many women's lives. How did this transition happen from a cine industry to like a motivational entrepreneur?
Okay, so first of all, there's no connection between me and the cine industry except that my dad is a director. Because from when I was a young child, we are 3 sisters. So from when I was a young child, all of us, Appa kept saying no cinema. And that's okay. I mean, no cinema is fine. But the thing is, there was also another part of him that always he kept saying that if you're becoming a doctor, it's okay. But other than that, I don't think so. You need to have a career of your choice. You need not even have an identity. I just want you to be happy, get married, have children, enjoy life, because that's why I'm working hard. So that you have a very, happy, easy life. I don't want you to struggle or something. And unfortunately, I believed that to be true. So I did not have any aspirations in life. I thought, okay, so getting married and getting settled and the handbags and the vacations, that's all life is. That's what I honestly thought. And today, today when I look back, it sounds very innocent and naive. So, until I was with him inside his bubble. So first of all, he's very conservative. He's very strict. You go to school, you go to college, you come back home. So until the moment I was with him inside the bubble, life was, though he was strict, life was beautiful. There were no complaints. Like, he's such an understanding father. So no complaints whatsoever. And then, I got married. And that is when I broke that bubble and came out. And after I came out, I realized that life is not always like happy bubbles, happy people, only love matters, only kindness matters. I thought that was life, but then there's more in life. So when I started meeting people and when I started realizing that I don't have much exposure and all of that, that created a lot of issues in my life. It was not easy for me to come to terms with the fact that now I have a child, but I'm broken myself. And from this angle, how am I going to raise a girl with confidence and all of that. And that is when I started going to various mentors, from one mentor to another mentor. Thanks to my husband, he was being supportive, he was being understanding, because I'm sure had I told my dad to help me go to mentors, he wouldn't have agreed, because he belongs to a different generation, right? So but my husband understood and he let me go.
When you say mentors, like, who's therapist or what?
So I went to a therapist, I went to a life coach. So it was like different people. So there was this one person whom I went for just my working on my confidence and things like that, on setting boundaries. And as I kept going through all these trainings, and after I applied it, I saw a huge shift in my life.
I see.
I started becoming more confident. I set boundaries and everything. It felt like I got my old self back, but in a much better way. I was better than my old self, and that was amazing. So that is when I thought, why not I take it to the women in India? Because all these mentors whom I went to, so these are people who are the top in the world. And mostly the concepts that they say, Indian women might not be able to connect with it. So I found a gap there. Like they might not be able to connect, right? So why not I do the bridging and bring it here? And what started off as something very casual, I thought like I'll just have like 3 clients, 5 clients a month, and if I just earn like 20,000 rupees, I'll be happy. I was in that zone. But then after I started it, the response was more than what I had expected. And today, where I'm here today, is something I've not even imagined I would be here. So it's just come. And as they kept coming, my work started getting better. And yeah, I don't even know. Like, there's not one thing that I could say what has led up to here. But all these years of meeting these women and improvising on what I do as well, and, seeing their lives changing makes me feel like, okay, maybe this is my purpose in life.
Nice.
So that's how
Nice.
I have landed here.
Many women still live in the past. Like, they keep on holding to their past
Yeah,
experiences.
Yeah.
Is that something that you recommend for them to?
Absolutely. So I always tell my students that I believe all of us would have made great lawyers or advocates, because we like remember like this happened on that day, and we just remember everything so clearly. When any fight happens, we bring back all the past memories and adding to the existing fight. Say for example, they're fighting with the husband. Adding to the existing fight, they'll bring on all the old memories, and the fight is going to like go through the roof. And it's just that one should understand that bringing in the past too much is not going to serve anything. In fact, it's only going to add more chaos. Now imagine, suppose there's a dead rat in this room, okay? And it's like in the center of the room. Now all of us are going to feel like super suffocated, and it's going to be so stinky, and it's just going to make all of our lives miserable. So because the dead rat is there, suppose I'm bringing an expensive carpet and throwing it on top of that, do you think we'll be fine? No. And suppose I'm bringing in a brand, new perfume, and I'm spraying on top of it, will we be fine? No. The only solution to that would be just throw it outside. And that's exactly, the dead rat is the past. The more it's there inside everybody's home, not just the person who's holding on to it, but it's going to affect the entire family. So the thing is, Dr. Pal, it's just that there is no one single thing that I can say when, the family comes and they talk about the change that they can see.
No. I'm saying, how did they change?
Okay. So I work on their emotions. So I get into each and every single emotion a woman goes through, and I train them on how to overcome that. And I also give them some homework, activities, and all of that. They get back. And and also I have a wonderful community for them. One of the main problems women face is that they feel lonely. It's not about being alone. Even if they have so many people around them, they feel like there's not a single place where they would be understood. Their voice would be heard without judgment. So I've created a community where you can just talk your heart out and nobody's going to judge you. So when they belong to a community, that feeling of belonging, that feeling of, okay, I am understood, I am heard, my problems are valid in a certain place, that itself gives them a lot of rooting to my program. They can find their ground here. And then on top of that, I work on their emotions. And, slowly through the weeks, like say, for example, if they're coming for a 10-week program, through the week, slowly and steadily, I take them through each and every single one of their emotions. I work on their courage, their confidence. And then at one point, they would have discovered a new version of themselves. And at that point, I tell them, now go find your purpose. Do something for yourself. Because not doing anything, that is also going to be a hindrance, because I believe when I see my mom, her life was completely dedicated to my dad and the three of us. Today, she feels like her life has become meaningless or something. She feels like, what am I doing? And the thing is, my mom did not have an option. She had to do what she had done. That was her solution. But now, girls, like, there are so many options. Today's girls, they have so many things that they can do from the comfort of their homes as well. So I encourage them to do that, and they find their purpose, their identity. Even if they are going to be not successful, I just recommend them to start something. Because even if you fail, you still know what it takes to get there, and you can do something else which is like similar or the opposite, but still you will have this confidence inside of you that I tried something and I failed and didn't work on, and things like that. So yeah, I work on making them have their identity, focusing on financial independence, emotional strength, and just these three put inside makes it the best biryani ever.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So how does a woman know that, her habits are being controlled by the husband?
How do they know? Okay.
Is there any red flag, or is it just like an intuition that, okay, how can you ask me
So
this?
who they meet, what they do, everything gets controlled. Like what they wear, all of that. I mean, it's okay. Like the husband can say, like, it'll be nice if you wear this and wear that. But there are men who control the wives, saying that, this is the family's rules. You need to follow this. This is what my mom likes. So her desires, what she wants in life, is not taken into account. But what the elders want, that is, being imposed on her, and she needs to do it. So there are controlling in-laws, there are controlling husbands, and it's not intuition. This is something that directly happens to them.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And it's getting common. Is that what you're saying?
It is common.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And how do you see a shift from like a family caretaker, like who has been taking care of little kids and husband and everybody, to the transition that you were mentioning about like an individual person
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
motive?
Yeah.
How difficult the transition is?
So first thing is that, they are the women who I recommend that they start a career of their own, because we can easily see who can work hard, who is smart. We can see that. So when I tell them, the first thing that stops them is family. And most women who come to me have little children in the sense from, it can be a newborn up to like 12, 13 years old. So they are super like, guilty that what if I do this and what if I let go of my family and things like that. So it's just that women have this one problem, and that is, we want to be the number one in everything that we do. Yeah, I want to be the number one. It can be me as a wife, it can be me as a mom, it can be me as an entrepreneur, anywhere. And we do give our best. It can be to our parents or our in-laws. Everywhere we always have this thought that I should be the number one. And that's the problem here. It's absolutely okay to be number 10 in one. It's not like you should be the number one, you should be the star mother. No. It's okay to get a B grade in being a mother. But it's very tough for us to, take it in.
Accept it.
Yeah, because I think through generations and generations of patriarchy, it's not told, but I think it's just that everybody are in this zone where we ourselves believe that it is our responsibility to make the family work. So I think we've all seen it, many influencers talking about it, like if I'm taking care of my child, it's called a mother's duty, but if the father is taking care of the child, it means like he's such a great man. And that doesn't even make sense. Like he's also the father, right? So I would say this is something that's being told without being told. Yeah. So nobody needs to open their mouth and say the girl is responsible. The girl herself knows that this is the responsibility that's expected out of her. So that stops her. And, when I tell them that it's absolutely okay to not be a star, and also there should be some harmony. I'm not saying let go of the family, let go of the husband, but you do your best. And you will also find short breaks in between. At that time you can put your full focus on them as well, right? So and when they get like a bit okay with the fact that okay, it's okay if I don't perform really well as a mother, now they are like getting into this zone of okay, maybe I can try something for myself. And that's how they come into this.
I see. And the other thing, when they're going into all this, and especially when there are lots of work already, controlling anger is something very difficult to do.
Absolutely. What about you, Dr. Pal? Do you get angry?
In front of my wife, I don't.
No, Indian. Because I think all of us are used to seeing you like, with your jokes. So, yeah.
No. I think, I do. Especially
Everybody,
when...
yeah.
correct.
So, the reason I asked that was, so it's just that anger is a very normal, common human emotion. If we cannot control anger, it is a very, like how we consider happiness as a normal emotion, anger is a normal emotion. But the problem with women is they react to it too much, they create drama out of it, and that ends up in a place where they wouldn't have done the mistake, but they'll get blamed because of the way they reacted. This is the problem. I have faced this. Like the mistake would have been committed by somebody else, but just because I reacted a certain way, it will fall on me. That, oh, you did this way. Because we throw things or we shout and things like that, which is not okay. So what I'd recommend for anybody who experiences or rather encounters a situation where they're getting angry, the first thing I'd recommend them is that don't react, don't open your mouth, don't respond, nothing. Just go into isolation and shut the door. It can be your room, it can be your restroom, somewhere. And after you shut the door, just ask yourself, what is the emotion that's coming out? You need not even ask yourself, it will just come out. Some women, after they become angry, they'll feel like crying. And some people, they'll feel like throwing something. Whatever you feel like doing, do it in that room with yourself. If you feel like crying, cry it off, it's fine. If you feel like throwing, just crush a paper and throw it. I mean, they should, high time they stop throwing phones, because phones are like too expensive these days, right? So anything, you feel like hitting somebody, hit the pillow. Like whatever it is that's coming out, put a timer for 20 minutes, bring out all the emotion. And by the end of 20 minutes, they themselves, they would like calm down a bit, not too much. But at that point, it is important for them to realize this one thing, and that is when your emotions goes high, your intelligence goes low. That is the worst timing ever for them to deal with that problem. They have their entire life ahead to deal with it. But that is the worst timing ever, because anything that's going to come out of their mouth, it's going to be stupid, which they themselves will regret. So you should remember that. Remember that and calm yourself down. And also, becoming angry is okay. But in Buddhism, there's a thing that says staying angry is equal to you drinking the poison and expecting somebody else to die. Yeah. So you should remember that, and then come out and don't talk to these people who made you angry. Even if they are trying to talk to you, just say that, I myself will get back to you, and you just carry on with your day-to-day task. It can be your cooking, your office work, just having your coffee, whatever it is. And as they keep going through their everyday task itself, their anger would have come down. And at one point, the emotion wouldn't be high. The anger might still be there, but the emotion wouldn't be high. And at this point, go sit with the person who made you angry and discuss. Like, hey, you know what? When this happened, it put me off. I was angry, but now I'm fine. What can we do to make the situation better? You have a conversation like that. Now that person has more scope to go deep within and realize. It might not happen overnight. Like any woman doing this one day and coming and asking me, but my husband said he doesn't like trust in me this way. It's because, of course, he's always seen you react a different way. So they need to keep practicing this. They need to keep showing the world that they are trying to become better. And the more they keep doing that, then the husband will realize. Say, for example, Dr. Pal, I was a person who was crying almost like 3-4 days a week. And my husband was like, there was a point where he told that I don't even feel pity looking at you because you're super annoying. You're like super irritating. So that is how I was. But today, like, it's twice a year or thrice a year that I cry. But when I cry, he doesn't brush it off. He takes it seriously. Because now he knows that only if it's something which has gone beyond her level of tolerance, she'll be this way. Now he's realizing that. So there's a difference. You need to keep being consistent with the kind of effort you're going to put to make yourself better, to make everybody's life better. And you need to be consistent, and then the people around you will automatically, they'll realize. Yeah.
Nice. And the other common problem that I see among homemakers is that, they have the talent to bring in money to the family.
Yeah.
And this financial dependence on the husband, I have seen that has created problems in many families. How was that handling? How should a woman handle that kind of problems, and any guidance on that?
Okay, so the main problem with women who are not working and who are dependent on the husband is that they feel super guilty to even spend the husband's money. If it's for the children, they are fine. But the husband's money, if she wants something expensive or something exclusive, she feels super guilty because I have not worked hard for it. And she is right. Because I feel every single woman should be financially sound. Otherwise, other people will become your life deciders. You go to a jewelry store, they'll give you a budget. You cannot like buy whatever it is that you want, right? But when you have your financial independence, you wouldn't even bother on who's giving you what budget. You can buy whatever it is that you want. And I want, but you know, the transition between being a homemaker and suddenly becoming financially independent, it's not an easy journey. It's not something that will happen quickly. It's going to take years and years of working towards it to get there. But until this point where they are starting and there's a point where they reach financial independence, I recommend my students to not have that guilt feeling. You know, we've all seen pictures and movies and photos of a king and a queen. The queen does not sit there without confidence and keep saying that, oh, only because he's the king, I'm the queen. Otherwise, who will respect me? No. Every king needs his queen, right? So I'll recommend these women to operate from that point of view. You are still his wife. And when he promised to take your hand for marriage, he also has promised that he will take care of your life. So it's okay, depend on him. But also work parallelly towards your financial independence so that you will reach there also one day. And today also there's no point in feeling guilty. In fact, the first, I think around 10 lakhs of me investing in my education was sponsored by my husband. Had I not taken the money from him, Dr. Pal, I wouldn't be sitting here in this podcast with you, right? So had I felt guilty, this wouldn't have happened. So just go for it. Be honest, be open about it, and stop feeling guilty. Go for what you want. And then when there comes a day where you have your financial independence, you can in return gift your husband, you can do all of those.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hello guys, I have an important announcement for you. We have a new channel called Gut Feeling with Dr. Pal, podcast only channel. It is available both on YouTube and also on Instagram. Please check out the link in the description. Long version of the podcast can be like 60 minutes or even 90 minutes. Highlighted portion of these podcasts have been clipped into shorter segments for your easier consumption. My goal is to make each and every information provided by the guest reach to you so that you can form a beautiful lifestyle for yourself. So check out the link in the description. The other factor, in addition to the time, is that what if somebody will judge us? And how do we build confidence, avoiding that judgment factor?
Okay, so when it comes to women, it's not just... So first of all, women always fear about what will another person think of them. And they will tell me, what if I fail? They won't directly tell me what will another person think of me. They will ask me, but Maalica, what if I fail? And I ask them, suppose nobody knows about your work in your family, friends, nobody knows. You are only doing this and you are failing all alone by yourself. Nobody else knows. Would you be comfortable? They'll be like, yes, absolutely. So your problem is not failing. Your problem is what other people might think of you the day you fail. Yeah. So that is the problem here. So for this, more than practical steps, I think it's a mindset shift. And this is something I learned from one of my mentors. So I had enrolled into his class, into his consulting, to become more productive. I went for my first session. Second session was scheduled in another 15 days. I did not go for the second session. Productivity class, I was delaying. Yeah. So it was like 3 months, 4 months, and he was trying to get hold of me, but I told him like, no, like not now, because I was feeling super guilty that I did not do the homework that he had given me. And then I went to his class. And he was like, Maalica, you came to me so that you could beat procrastination. But here you are procrastinating my session. So like, what's happening? What went wrong? And I told him, I feel super guilty because I didn't do the homework. And okay, so why is that a problem? That's what he asked me. And I was like, because you gave me the homework, what would you even think about me? What would you... That's judgment, right? What would you even think about me? And at that point, what he told literally changed my life. He told me that, Maalica, remember this one thing. Forget procrastination, productivity, everything. Any day, what another person thinks, that thought is in their mind. How and when did another person's thought become your problem? Never ever think like that. You know, so anybody thinking, see, we can't help it. That is the truth. And this beyond thinking, if there is somebody who's trying to cross a certain boundary and they are trying to make you do a certain thing and you don't want to do it, I think you should be smart and assertive enough to handle that. That's the only... First of all, mindset wise, another person's thought shouldn't like bother. The next thing is that how do you practically deal with them is by using something called as a 3-layer approach. The 3-layer approach is positive, negative and positive. Anything if I'm saying a no. Say, for example, there's somebody who's inviting me to be their guest in another podcast show, but that's the day where I'm super busy. Now, but I feel so bad because what will that person think of me? And this is a very fine line where women give in and do extra and go attend that meeting or whatever, because they want to be seen as the person who's good. I don't want to come across as a bad person.
Correct.
Yeah. So at that point, you can use this 3-layer approach. I'm going to tell you how. And when you use that, you will still come out as a person who's being respectful towards the other person. So you start with the positive, like saying that, oh, thank you so much for inviting me. It's so like kind of you to have me in your mind. However, now the negative part comes in, the bad part, you push it inside in the middle. However, I'm having this. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to attend this. And at the end, again, finish it with the positive. But you have a great show. I'm so happy for you. Anything else you need, I'm always going to be here for you.
So 3-layer approach is positive, negative and positive.
So you start with the positive, include the negative, and then finish with the positive. When you do that, anybody who's trying to be judgmental or anything, anybody who's trying to get some extra work done from you, when you are being assertive and use this, they cannot point at you saying that you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I'm getting it. Like you should be assertive and smart with the way you communicate.
Nice. See, the other angle, usually women are, I think, maybe involved in a vicious cycle is, gossip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask, from your experiences, you've seen so many clients, is gossip and mental health is like related?
Absolutely. So it's just that women gossip. It is there. Like it's not like women don't gossip at all.
Men also gossip. Huh? We also gossip.
Okay. I'm so glad that you are agreeing to
What are you
it.
talking about? That's a very normal thing.
Okay, so it's just that, see, harmless, fun gossip is different. Like, if I'm telling you shouldn't gossip at all, then it's like me telling you shouldn't live your life only. Yeah, because you meet friends and you're having fun, and a little bit of harmless gossip is okay. But some women, their everyday work will be gossiping. Calling and talking about, what happened, she did, this girl did this way. And trust me, women do not gossip about men. Women gossip about other women. That is there. I don't know what men gossip about, but women gossip about other women. And when we are gossiping and we are judging another person, the truth is, if we are gossiping about somebody in a negative way, it is because there is some hidden jealousy there. She has something that I don't have. But we are too egoistic to accept that. And we end up gossiping that, oh, she is doing too much. You're getting it. That's the hidden feeling is jealousy. And the more you forget the root feeling, that's the base feeling. The more you don't get connected with this and only you keep gossiping to make yourself feel better, you're not going anywhere. Now, when I'm jealous about something, the truth is that is something I want in my life. So, but at the same time, I'm giving so much negativity to the same thing. Now, what are we doing? We are confusing the universe. You want it or you don't want it. You want it, but when another person has it, you're feeling jealous. Like you're gossiping, and that itself reduces our energy. So the next time we are gossiping in a harmful way about somebody's growth and all of that, the one thing we should first introspect is that, am I jealous about something that this person has? The truth might not come out, but keep asking yourself that question, and at one point you will realize that there's no point. Rather, you could get on their team, become their cheerleader, and I'm sure anybody who's on the top will always help another person grow. Say, for example, you are here with a gold YouTube thing. So if I'm going to ask you, Dr. Pal, could you please give me a few tips? You would be ready to give me a few tips.
I would say take the gold button.
So that's there. And the people whom you surround yourself with. There's this old thing in Tamil where they say, "Unnode nanban yarun kami, na unna patti solren." That's very true, right? So there were days where I used to hang out with women who were not doing anything, and it was fine. But then I started meeting people who were on a different journey, who were career oriented, and I did not know why I got these new people in my life. But today I've become like them. I've become a workaholic. This is all a small way of us improving, because the more you hang out with people who have a higher vision and all of that, that itself, just that energy, just those thoughts, they might not be in touch with you 24/7 every week, nothing. But that once in a while, when you get in touch with them, their thoughts, all of that will motivate you, even if not directly, subconsciously, it is going to motivate you. So, and those people, they are not going to gossip about anybody doing well, because they are doing so well for themselves. Anybody who's doing well for themselves are not going to gossip in a harmful way. Little gossip, fun gossip is absolutely fine. Yeah.
By the way, what is happening in cine industry? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. So, just a quick touch upon the rekindling the relationship angle.
Yeah.
So many people are feeling that, I'm very tired, drained out. Any suggestions for them in like a quick tip?
So it's just that mainly many women who come to me. So there was this girl when she came to me. Her issue was she's very bored about the relationship. She felt like her husband just does not care. Yeah, so she was all complaining about the husband, that oh, he doesn't care, he doesn't look at what I do for him, and this and that and all of that. And I work from one principle, and that is, if you're coming to me, I'm not going to change another person in your life. It's you who has to change. So if you are ready to take up the responsibility, you can come. So she said, okay, let me give this a try. And then, the main thing that I emphasize to her, which is the reality for all of us, is that, until we get something in our lives, we'll work really hard towards it. But maintaining that, we'll take it for granted. Until the day my husband, so we were college friends. So until the day we were dating and all of that, it's very new. So you do a lot of things for the better half.
Yeah.
You give them gifts and make them feel happy, and you take effort. Both sides, there is a lot of effort. But then once marriage happens, child comes into the picture, responsibilities change and all of that. It's just that the husband, he's there. Why should I put in effort? This is the main problem. This is the main mistake most women do. Like, why should I put effort? He's always there. Like, he's my husband. Like, I'm getting it. And they think, and the reason they think like this is because they are not putting effort for their parents, but their parents are still there in their lives. So the same way they look at their spouse, but they should understand that parents are very, old and we are young. But this person who's your spouse, almost in the similar age. So both of you will have your needs, right? And it's very important to have a heart-to-heart conversation on what is it that you expect from the relationship. And I'm sure nowadays people are very well aware of the 5 love languages. So there are these 5 love languages. It's physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and gifts. Now, the thing is, every one of us will have a top love language and a second love language. And the problem with the husband and the wife is that whatever our love language is, we use that to give love to the spouse. Say, for example, my love language is gifts. My husband's love language is not gift. But because it is my love language, I keep gifting him, hoping that this will make him feel good about me or the relationship. But that's the major problem here. Whatever their love language is, we should be ready to give that. So my husband's love language is acts of service. He likes it if I make his coffee, if I make his tea, if I give him like a nice head massage for 10 minutes. For him, it's service. For me, it's gifting. Now, because for my husband, it's acts of service, he will tell me, oh, if your feet is paining, let me apply some balm. And can you see the difference? Whatever our love language is, that is what we tend to do more than thinking about what our spouse wants.
Have you seen people with no love language at all?
No. There's definitely something. Yeah, see, we get married because there is an expectation from both sides. So there's definitely, this. And also because I don't work with the husband, I told her to go and have a conversation. And she went, and then it all worked out. And now she's pregnant with her second baby. Yeah.
Nice.
She's very happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Super. It was a wonderful podcast. Thank you so much for all your insights. I really hope that people actually take some actionable items from what we have discussed, and then hopefully they find a way out and follow you and your guidance as well.
Absolutely, doctor. And thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure. Like I told you, I've been following your work for so many years. So I just love it when you bring in, is there a real Sharvana Kumar? I'm sure people would have asked you that.
We'll discuss that in the next podcast.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me. And I'm so glad that your audience get to see what I've got to, tell.
Nice.
So thank you.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
That was a wonderful podcast. I liked it. I just want you to analyze the podcast in parts and then see whether this is applicable to your life so that you can make some meaningful changes in your life. And that is what is considered as a success to my podcast. Okay. Stay happy. Stay gutsy. May God bless you.